Hi, everyone, and welcome to every episode of VeggieTales Reviewed. I'm that media guy, and I'm here to answer your questions about the quality of talking Christian vegetable television. Today, we have the subject of
Episode. Oh, who turned off the lights? Did someone put an oven mitt on my head? I'd like to be able to see, please. Alright, there we go. Uh, this isn't the countertop. I don't see anything veggie related here. Where the heck am I? Did I get diced up and sent to veggie heaven? Because I am so. Oh, Oh no. This isn't heaven. This is the exact opposite. The intro was a lie. This isn't every episode of VeggieTales Reviewed. This is every piece of cursed Christian animation out there. And the subject for this week is Dorbees making decisions, which is something that I clearly need to see as I made the decision to review this nonsense. I hope you all enjoy watching me torture myself. Now, in case you don't know, Dorbees is a 35-minute VeggieTales knockoff that was unleashed onto the world just 6 days after I was unleashed onto the world. Isn't that something? It was created by Benji Gaither, the son of Bill Gaither, who is the founder of the Gaither Vocal Band, a southern gospel group that has proven to be quite successful, winning Grammys in 1991 and 2009. Clearly, unlike Phil Vischer and his team, who started VeggieTales on a shoestring budget, this family has some wealth to their name. Good luck finding any of that in this cartoon, though, because my goodness, we absolutely need to start with the animation here. The quality of the backgrounds reminds me of something that I would see in Money for Nothing, which, coincidentally, was also early CG animation produced by a music group and, coincidentally, also managed to win a Grammy. However, that music video came out in June of 1985, over 13 years prior to the release of this monstrosity. Since then, we have had a number of CG productions that far surpass this in quality. There's VeggieTales, of course, but Reboot looks better than this, Beast Wars looks better than this, heck, even the Donkey Kong Country cartoon looks better than this. But that is nothing compared to the character animation and design. First off, Dorbies are spheres with eyes, arms, and legs. Can you get any more lazy than that with character design? I could excuse it if they were supposed to be representative of real world objects like the vegetables in VeggieTales, but these creatures are so simple that it feels like they were created because Livebait absolutely had to make something in CG despite not having a clue on how to do so, so they came up with the absolute bare minimum in character design. This is why I would even take Rhapsody Street Kids over this because at least they tried to make humanoid figures in CG. And no, I am not showing you any more images than I have to because I do not want this video to have any cringe-inducing visuals. But the absolute worst thing of all is how the characters move. There is no grasp at all on the concept of how to use squash and stretch, so you largely just have characters flailing their limbs about in a way that is supposed to make sense in the context of the story, but it just comes off as so unbelievably uncanny. But what is worse than being uncanny is being unnerving. Enter the eyes. Oh my word, the eyes of these creatures is the literal feces on top of an extremely rotten cake. They are way too big and way too bulged out of their super pathetic character designs. This is unacceptable in every sense of the word, even for 1998. The eyes are the most fundamental part of the character design, as they are what let the audience bear into the soul of the characters. And the fact that the professor character has his eyes jiggle? I seriously cannot believe just how much the animation sucks here. And it is tragic that animation this abhorrent has to be paired with a lesson this valuable. Or at least it would be if it actually tried to teach you that lesson. The subtitle of Dorby's Making Decisions is framed around the two main characters making a bad decision by skipping school to go to a haunted house, as you can see in that plot synopsis in the top left hand corner. By the way, I did not add in that part about leaving surprises for you guys. I copied the synopsis straight from the IMDb page. And let me tell you, the only surprises for you guys in this whole thing are nothing but unpleasant. I was honestly shocked when I found out that this religious animation had its lesson completely backwards. Obviously, truancy in the real world is bad, but I wouldn't be at my school either if it, like the school in this video, tries to kill me for leaving the classroom for whatever reason. Seriously, the two kids, both 8 years old, have to risk life and limb to go out of their school's front doors. I guess the creators felt that the episode needed some kind of action set piece and didn't think about how it completely went against what it seemed like they wanted to teach. And it gets really insulting when Jack gets hurt trespassing and the news reporter who reports on this says that he deserved it. And as for the second plot, well, it makes even less sense. Otto the Scandinavian wants American clothes after emigrating from Sweden to the US, so he goes to the best American clothing store in town, where the owner, Dig, wants to make money but tells Otto that he made the choice not to sell to him because it is wrong for Otto to try to integrate and he should instead shop at the Swedish clothing store, despite the fact that Otto wanted American clothes? What is the message here? Is it that it is bad for immigrants to try to integrate into their new society? Is it that businessmen should not try to make honest money by selling to those that are not of their kind? I don't get it! Wrapped inside of the worst animation I have ever seen is a story that is absolutely brain dead. Seriously, they couldn't even bother to get basic geometry correct in the school scenes. Again, if I was in this situation, I would not be at school either because it is wasting my time with inaccurate information, let alone the fact that the school is literally trying to kill me if I step foot out of the classroom. And there is a whole laundry list of other problems. For starters, the voice acting is trash. At times, it feels like it is needlessly bad just to be stupid because stupid equals funny. Fleck, whose name is spelled in multiple different ways in the episode, is a character that I have not mentioned yet because he serves no purpose whatsoever. He just incoherently rambles about nonsense in an extremely annoying voice. That is literally it. He is nothing more than a copycat of Larry the Cucumber without having even the slightest idea of what made him so charming. But to be fair, he is not the only pointless character in this mess of a cartoon. There are a surprising amount of characters in this video, despite many of them being pointless. From a news anchor named Walter Concrete, yes, really, to a cameraman who shows up for the last 4 seconds of the video after the credits roll just to wrap the production. But perhaps the most pointless character of all, though, is a Dorby who is flipping through TV channels on a couch while eating snack foods. He is supposed to act as a framing device, I think, with him flipping through channels trying to simulate switching between stories, but the episode already has a framing device with a Dorby named Delta. This shows Bob the Tomato copycat. Oh, and the Dorby on the couch grows in size each time we see him. I think the indication is that the junk food that he is eating while lounging is making him fat, but since the animation is garbage and the character design is almost non existent, it just looks like he is inflating like a balloon. Either way, it just adds to this episode's extreme unpleasantness. Oh, and Elvis is in the haunted house. No reason why. He's just there. I guess someone just really wanted to show off their Elvis impression. And Jimmy Hoffa is mentioned in the haunted house as well on a sign. If there is a purpose for that, it is certainly not something that kids would pick up on. Not that I would expect my kids to pick anything out of this mess, other than that, again, their school is trying to kill them. Seriously, can this cartoon do anything right? Well, there is a part of this that I don't want to say is good, but is not as bad as the other parts, and that is Mr. Poe and Yogul. It is this show's version of Silly Songs with Larry as a segment in the middle which has nothing else to do with the rest of the story, and since the main story, where the core of the moral is supposed to reside, is an abject failure, it is nice that this segment doesn't have to try to succeed at teaching something, it just has to be entertaining. And I will admit, this segment has the only moments in the entire episode where I could actually see what the creators were going for in terms of comedy. Mr. Poe getting past the electric fence and evil chickens with wire cutters and love is a humorous idea. Maybe I would have even chuckled if the animation didn't make me want to vomit. But the best part was how Yogel actually sang real life songs while Mr. Poe was trying to help. I actually had a good laugh when Yogel started singing Rocky Mountain High. That, combined with how this part of the episode doesn't take itself seriously in the slightest compared to how the rest of the episode is supposed to care about teaching you something, made this part of the episode the easiest to sit through, even if I still wouldn't call it quality, especially when compared to silly songs. Oh, and yeah, I have not even mentioned the songs yet. That is because they are the most unremarkable part of this episode. I guess that makes them one of the better aspects of the episode, if only that they are largely inoffensive when compared to just about everything else. But considering that the most remarkable parts of VeggieTales are the music numbers, the songs are just another reason why this cartoon completely falls on its face. And that is Dorbees, an utter failure of Christian animation. Literally. There is just about nothing Christian here, as the message here is completely confused, not to mention there is no Bible verse, and I only remember God's word being mentioned once in the whole thing, and the animation here is worse than Food Fight. Yes, I said it. Food Fight had actual character designs, and a lower made for film frame rate made the character animation not as jarring as this unsettling disaster. And that is all I have to say about this pile of puke. This was nothing more than an abominable waste of time. I hope this review was anything but, though. Happy April Fool's Day, everyone! I hope you enjoy the one day of the year where I torture myself with cursed Christian animation. Tune in next time to hear me talk about Gaither's Pond Fishtails. Let's see just how deep the Gaither's rabbit hole goes. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Click the red button to subscribe and have a fantastic rest of your day doing anything other than watching this. Please know.